search giant Google is debating whether or not to launch facial recognition technology for Google products after receiving heavy criticism over its privacy policies. Introducing facial recognition in Google services is one of a number of key topics currently being debated by senior executives there. Google already uses facial recognition technology in its Picasa photo sharing service. Users can tag the people in a photo, then use the technology to search and tag other pictures in which the same face appears. Catherine Albrecht is a consumer privacy expert. What do you think of this technology, Catherine, to be able to have facial recognition technology for Google?
Well, I want you to envision what this means, George, because I actually was at a Starbucks at the local mall today thinking about this story. If I took my cell phone equipped with a Google facial recognition program at the mall, I could look at somebody literally walking or maybe sitting on the other side of the Starbucks, and I could say, who is that? I could take my cell phone, point it at that random stranger, and get back information, including that person's name, maybe their Facebook account, maybe their email address. The sky is the limit in terms of what I could get. In fact, by simply getting their name, I could then Google that person and get all the information about them. If they introduce this, it will be a game changer, the likes of which we've never envisioned before, because what it will mean is that any random person that you see anywhere ever would be identifiable, provided that that person has posted a picture of themselves publicly on the Internet at some point and identified themselves with a name. It's a wild concept that there would be no more stranger anonymity. You could set one of these things up on, you could just hold it in your hand as people walk towards you in Manhattan. You could have entire crowds, and you could point it at any single person in a football stadium and say, who's that? Who's that? Who's that person over there? So the stalking potential of this is enormous. You know, a guy sees a pretty girl, rather than just kind of admiring her from afar, now he could begin sort of stalking her Facebook account or sending her personal emails.
Or if the girl sees the hot-looking guy, same thing, right?
Oh, yeah, vice versa, absolutely. Well, as a girl, I got to tell you, I'm a little more worried about that first scenario.
Got to defend the guy sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually excited because I'm going to be flying to Australia next week, where we are going to be launching StartPage Australia. And this is because all of these Google issues have hit the forefront. I think finally the nation is waking up to the fact that Google knows everything about them. So, as you know, I'm a huge fan of StartPage.com, the alternative to Google. This is the search engine that doesn't record.
They don't do this, do they?
Yeah, no. StartPage, they don't record any information about you. They are third-party certified to privately allow you to do your searches and not record your searches. Because here's the other creepy thing: if we set up this facial recognition technology, marketers would love it, because not only can you see who that person is who just walked into your store, but you can identify all of that person's keyword interest based on what they've searched for on the Internet using Google.
It's a marketing person's dream.
Can you imagine somebody's walking into my American Apparel store or whatever it might be, and I say, I know that this person has these 27 interests. I know if I walk up to them and I make this particular pitch, they'll go for it because I know everything they've ever searched for online. I know half the websites they've visited.
Well, what about this, Catherine? Let's say you're in a store. All of a sudden, with this technology, this camera spots you and goes, hey, Catherine, come here. Look what we have for you. Now, I know you buy these things.
That's right.
It's going to happen.
Well, or you could even walk in and say, hey, Catherine, we know you've been depressed lately because we know you've been looking up...
we know you've been getting pharmaceutical drugs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Or we know you've been looking up symptoms of depression, or maybe you've been looking up marriage counseling, or whatever it might be. They'd say, "Hey, listen, come on over here. Chocolate will really help kick you out of those doldrums." That level of inside your head kind of information, and they would know it simply by glancing at my face.
That's a great story, Catherine. Thanks so much. Your website's too all part of our Twitter feed at coasttocoastam.com. Amazing technology.